What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of MLB action here on Sunday, June 22nd. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate and the NBA Finals Game 7 between the Pacers and Thunder. I'll give you my dog of the day and pick out my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price, I think is the highest chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally answer every comment every single day. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and it pays to check back a couple of times per day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. Saturday is on track to be pretty solid, guys. Got up to a great start to the day. We had the Tampa Bay Rays at -125. That was a nice 8-3 win thanks to the offense jumping on the Tigers right out of the gate in a very solid start there from Pepio. We also had the Toronto Blue Jays at -1.5. They let us down on Friday, while on Saturday they come through with the 7-1 win. Barrios was great out there, 7 2/3 innings, no runs allowed, and Toronto's offense was firing on all cylinders, so all good news there. We had the Phillies at -120. That was annoying. Abel looked young out there, and the bullpen continues to suck, so the Phillies lose despite Canning not even looking very good there for the Mets. We've still got the Athletics at -105. They are technically live in that game, headed into the bottom of the 7th, down 4-0, so they've got some work to do, but that Cleveland bullpen hasn't been amazing, so I would say they've still got a shot. We hit both of our dog of the day and massive lock of the day. The Brewers at +118 came through for us with a 9-0 win. A huge bounce back from Quintana, and the Twins bullpen and offense continue to look pretty terrible. We also had the Diamondbacks at -205 as our massive lock of the day. That was a 5-3 win. Even though it wasn't a very clean game, the Diamondbacks had a couple errors. Kelly was good over his 6 innings, and the bullpen did not implode. So we'll take the win there, locking in a very solid winning day. So let's see if we can run it back here on Sunday, guys. We've got a ton of games to cover. So let's jump right in. We're going to look at the Baltimore Orioles going on the road to take on the New York Yankees. The Orioles come into this game 33-43 on the year. They just lost game 2 of this series. Yeah, I mean, a little bit rough out there. 9-0 loss. That's not a great look there for Baltimore. They'll hand the ball in game 3 here to Dean Kremer. He's 6-7 on the year, a 4.80 ERA. His last start was excellent. 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run allowed there at Tampa Bay, and a 5-1 win. So very, very good stuff there. The Orioles are 3-2 over his last 5 starts. That's a step in the right direction. We'll see what he can do here against the Yankees, though. I'm a little bit worried about him going up against a Yankees team that's finally hitting the ball again. And the Baltimore bullpen, nothing special. A 4.47 bullpen ERA has him in the bottom. 6 or 8 in the majors, and the offense obviously coming off of almost getting no hit there. That's not great, but they've scored 0, 5, 4, 8, and 5 runs over the last few, which is better than what we've seen in general from the Orioles this season. Not a team that's having a great time at the plate. A huge fall off from what we saw from them last year. One of the scariest offenses in the majors. Not the case this year. We'll see what they can put on the board against the Yankees, who have won 2 out of their last 3 now. I'm not 100% ready to say they're out of the woods. They are, fresh off a 9-0 win, so I'm sure that feels great. They'll hand the ball in this one to Will Warren. This 26-year-old is 4-4 on the year, a 4.83 ERA. His last start was against the Angels. 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs allowed, struck out 11 and walked 0, and a 4-0 loss there for the Yankees. So we'll see if they can give him some run support in this game. In general, he's been pretty decent over his last couple of outings, but not a guy that I'm super high on. He also got obliterated by Baltimore back in late April, so that's some negative history. So a bit worried about Will Warren here, a bit worried about the Yankees in general with how bad they've been playing. I'm not too worried about the bullpen. It stayed pretty solid over this stretch. The offense coming off a 9-run game, I'm sure, is very exciting. They're still 4th in the majors in runs scored and 9th in batting average, but they've scored 9, 3, 7, 2, 0, 0, and 0 over their last few games. Not swinging the hottest bats. So looking at the numbers, I'm a little bit surprised at what I'm seeing. The Orioles are +158. The Yankees are -188. We've got a total of 9.5. Baltimore 17-24 on the road, 27-13 and 1 to the under on the road. That's actually an MLB best mark to the under when playing away from home. The Yankees are 23-16 at home, 24-14 and 1 to the under at home. I think under 9.5 is certainly live in this game. I don't know if I love it on a Sunday, but it's a very early morning game, so that can maybe be a little bit weird for these two teams. So I'll take the under. If you're begging me for a side, I think the value's on the Orioles at +158, but I don't know if I like it enough to get too involved. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Detroit Tigers going on the road to take on the Tampa Bay Rays. Slam that thumbs up button if you enjoyed cashing the Tampa Bay Rays yesterday. That was a very solid win for them and for us. The Tigers will hand the ball in this one to Casey Mize, who's 7-2 on the season, a 2.96 ERA. His last start was against the Pirates. He was good, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs allowed, and it was eventually a 7-3 win. So not bad there. And over his last 5 starts, he's been very, very good. We'll see what he can do here against a Tampa Bay team that he hasn't faced this season. And I would say Mize on the mound isn't a bad option for the Tigers, who are trying to break that 3-game losing streak. The bullpen for Detroit has not been as good recently as it was earlier in the season. The offense is also maybe spluttering a little bit. I mean, 3, 8, and 4 runs over their last few games isn't the end of the world. They're still 5th in runs scored and 11th in batting average, but not the scariest offense with the way they're swinging the bats right now. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Tampa Bay Rays, who are up to 43 and 34 on the season. They are only a game and a half back of the New York Yankees for the top spot there in the AL East. Pretty crazy stuff. They've won the first 2 games of this series. They've won 3 out of their last 4. They'll hand the ball in this game to Zach Littell. My twin brother is 6 and 7 on the year, a 3.88 ERA. His last couple of starts have not looked great though. Gave up 7 hits and 3 earned runs in a 5-1 loss against Baltimore, and 8 hits and 4 earned runs in a 4-3 loss at Boston. So we'll see if he's got a bounce back in him here. Going up against the Tigers isn't the toughest task, but it's also not the easiest. I think there's a chance he could bounce back in this game, but I'm not taking that as, something that's 100% going to happen. The bullpen for Tampa Bay, though, has been amazing. Whenever Littell comes out of this game, I mean, a 3.06 bullpen ERA is obviously one of the best in the majors. It's in second place right now. The offense is coming alive. 8, 14, 1, 12, 1, 7, and 9 over their last several games. They are all the way up to 7th in the majors in runs scored. They are batting .256 as a team. That's 5th best in the majors. They're getting on base at a .323 clip. That is 9th in the majors. This team is killing it at the plate, swinging some very hot bats. So we'll see what happens in this one. The Tigers are minus 105. The Rays are minus 115. We've got a total of 9. The Tigers are 22 and 18 on the road, 25 and 15 to the over on the road. That's an MLB best mark towards the over. Tampa Bay is 27 and 22 at home, 28, 18, and 3 to the under at home. I don't love this spot, guys, but I'm going to be leaning a bit towards the Tigers at minus 105. I don't know if I can justify putting this in the pinned comment with how much the Tigers are struggling at the plate right now, but I don't necessarily think the Rays are going to sweep them. Littell hasn't looked great recently, so I think leaning towards the Tigers is the right thing to do. Next up, we're looking at the Texas Rangers going on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Rangers have won each of the first 2 games of the series, winning 6-2 and then 3-2. They'll hand the ball in this one to Jack Leiter, who's 4-4 on the year, a 4.40 ERA. His last couple of starts have really messed up his season-long numbers, struggling against the Twins and then struggling against the Royals. We'll see if he's got a bounce back in him in this one. I mean, going up against the Pirates is kind of the ultimate get-right spot for any major league pitcher, but this young 25-year-old is having some problems right now. The bullpen for the Rangers, though, is not. 3.25 bullpen ERA is 4th best in all of Major League Baseball. The offense, 6 and 3 runs respectively over their last couple of games. Not lighting the world on fire. They're one of the worst offenses in the majors. They're 26th in runs scored, 25th in slugging percentage. They're only getting on base at a .295 clip. That is 27th in the majors, so not a team you can expect to put up many numbers. So we'll see what they do here on the road against the Pirates, who are 30 and 48 on the year, having a nightmare season. They'll hand the ball to Bailey Falter, who's 5-3 on the year, a 3.49 ERA. His last start was against the Tigers, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs. Not his best effort. He's put up better numbers in most of his starts this year. We'll see what he can do against the Rangers, not a team he's faced this season, but overall, I think Bailey Falter is probably going to be pretty okay out there. The Pirates bullpen is showing signs of improvement, down to a 4.05 bullpen ERA, but that's obviously not great. The offense, 2, 2, 8, 2, and 3 runs over their last few games. This might be the worst offense in the majors. They are last in runs scored. They're last in slugging percentage. They're batting .225 as a team. That's 28th in the majors. Not a lot of scary bats there on the Pirates roster. So looking at the numbers, I'm a little bit surprised with what I'm seeing. The Rangers are minus 102. The Pirates are minus 118. We've got a total of 9 in this game. That's the surprising part, guys. That total is wild. The Rangers are 14 and 23 on the road, 21, 15, and 1 to the under on the road. The Pirates are 19 and 20 at home, 20, 18, and 1 to the under at home. In terms of a side in this game, I'll lean just slightly towards the Pirates, maybe, but I don't really care about that too much. I think the edge on this one is taking that under 9. I don't think we're going to see much offense in this game. This is a Texas Rangers game. The under has to be for sure in consideration, and I think Leiter is in for a bounce back. I think the Bailey Falter is in for a little bit of a bounce back, but he's been throwing the ball well, so I think under 9 is super, super live. Hey guys, hop in here with a quick shout out to the sponsor of today and every day's video, and that is stumpthespread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. Major League Baseball has been our most profitable sport the last several years in a row and is off to a great first half of the season. At stumpthespread.com, you'll be able to see exclusive free picks that are only posted there. You'll be able to use our free-to-use bet size calculator, and you can see our premium top confidence picks, which might not and usually will not always match what you see here in the video, as I am not the premium capper for MLB over at Stump the Spread. We've got a guy with many more years of experience, a very, very good track record of not putting up losing years. This guy, it's pretty nuts, but he uses some very sophisticated tools, algorithms, taking every possible variable into account, weather, history against pitchers, history in different ballparks, like you name it. If you can come with an MLB variable, it's almost 100% going to be taken into account in these premium picks. A ton of work goes into them every single day. So if you're interested, for sure get over there to Stump the Spread, check out everything they offer. Also, you got to get over there to get on the free email newsletter. All they need is your name and your email address to set up a free account, and you'll get one email straight to your inbox every single day with at least 1 or 2 free picks in it. Recently, there's been WNBA as well as MLB free picks in that email. Also, information on niche betting, UFC, NASCAR, all kinds of good stuff, golf, tennis, you name it. It could end up in there. Guys, it's a great resource. It's free information straight to your inbox. Get over there and take advantage of that. Also, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing here every single day, sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Channel members get early access to all of our videos. They get their name up on screen in every video, but you also get access to our members only giveaway. Giveaways, we'll be doing a giveaway here on the last day of the month. On June 30th, we'll be doing another giveaway, giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random channel member. So definitely get in there, get signed up to be a channel member if you're interested. Guys, we've got a ton of games to cover and an NBA Finals game to cover. So let's go ahead and hop right back in. Next up, we're going to be looking at the Chicago White Sox going on the road to take on the Toronto Blue Jays. The White Sox come into this one fresh off a 7-1 loss there in Game 2 of this series. Slam that like button if you cashed the Toronto Blue Jays at -1.5 with us yesterday. That was a very nice win. We'll definitely take that one. The White Sox obviously having a pretty rough time of things this year. They'll see what happens handing the ball in this one to Adrian Hauser. He got placed on the paternity list on Thursday. Apparently everything went well. He's going to be back out there here on Sunday making the start. So far this season, he's 2-2, a 2.15 ERA. His last time out was at the Rangers, 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, so not the best outing. We'll see what he can do here against a pretty hard-hitting Toronto team, see if he gets that, having a new kid bump. We'll see what happens. I'm not holding my breath, but I think he'll be okay out there, at least, kind of okay. Now, the bullpen situation for the White Sox has not been great. A 4.30 bullpen ERA over the course of the year. Not as bad as last year, but not great. And the offense is kind of where you would expect a Chicago White Sox offense to be. They're last in batting average, batting .223 as a team. They're 29th in slugging percentage with a slugging percentage of .347. Just not a very good offensive team, or just a very good team in general. So we'll see what they can do here against the Blue Jays, who are 41-35 on the year, coming off of that 6-run win against the White Sox in Game 2. They'll hand the ball here to Chris Bassett, who's 7-3 on the season, a 3.75 ERA. His last start was against the Diamondbacks. Not the easiest team to pitch against. He went 6 innings, gave up 6 hits and 3 earned runs, struck out 5 and walked 1. It was eventually a 5-4 win. Toronto is 4-0 over his last 4 starts. Now, he did have a pretty bad start against the Athletics and not a great start there in St. Louis. So we'll see what he can do here against the White Sox. Obviously, not the toughest team to be facing. The bullpen for Toronto has turned into pretty much a strength at this point, a 3.59 bullpen ERA. Not going to complain about that. The offense seems like it's back, putting up a 7 spot there in Game 2. We'll see if they can keep that rolling here. They are 16th in runs scored, but top 7 in batting average, batting .255 as a team. They're getting on base at a .324 clip. That's 8th best in the majors. There are plenty of pretty scary bats on that roster there for the Toronto Blue Jays. So I'm expecting good stuff from them in general, and so are the odds makers. The White Sox are plus 180. The Blue Jays are minus 220. We've got a total of 9 in this one. The White Sox are 8-31 on the road. That's an MLB worst road mark. They are 24-14-2 to the under on the road. Toronto, 25-15 at home, 25-14-1 to the over at home. I'm definitely interested in the Toronto Blue Jays in this game, especially with Bassett on the mound. It seems like a good spot. Am I willing to take them -1.5 again here? That's a bit of a stretch potentially. Do I want to take them at -220 as the lock of the day? I'm not sure yet. We'll put it on the list. It's a possibility. Toronto could end up in there, but there may be greener pastures here down the road. Rolling right along, we've got the Atlanta Braves going on the road to take on the Miami Marlins. The Braves got the 7-0 win there in Game 2, but at 35-40 on the year, and getting the news that Sale is going on the IL with that fractured rib. That's fractured rib cage. It's not even one rib. It's the whole rib cage, apparently. I'm not sure how that works, but not good. Not good, especially for somebody his age. We'll see how things go here for the Braves. They'll hand the ball in this game to Bryce Elder. He's 2-3 on the year, a 4.45 ERA. His last start, he got knocked around by the Rockies. It was a 12-4 win, but he didn't look great. It was kind of predictable that he would struggle a bit, coming off an 8-inning appearance there against the Giants. We'll see what he can do here against the Marlins. Not the scariest team, but not the easiest team to face. So we'll see what he does. The bullpen for the Braves, a 3.78 bullpen ERA is fine. I wouldn't say it's dominant, and the offense has been pretty bad. I know they're coming off a 7-run game. That's great. They're 21st in the majors in runs scored. They are 19th in slugging percentage. They've scored 7, 2, 7, 5, 5, and 1 runs over their last few games. And this is one of the hottest hitting streaks the Braves have had all year. So we'll see what they do against the Marlins here in Game 3. Miami is 30-45 on the season. They'll hand the ball to Sandy Alcantara in this game. He's 3-8, a 6.88 ERA. His last start, he was actually pretty good. His last 3 starts have been serviceable. His last time out, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs against the Phillies. It was eventually a 5-2 loss, but he threw the ball relatively well. And we've liked what we've seen from him lately, but I don't know if I'm, ready to celebrate yet for Sandy Alcantara. He hasn't faced the Braves yet this year. Whenever he comes out of the game, the Miami bullpen is definitely something to worry about. A 4.54 bullpen ERA. Not great. Not what you're hoping for. The offense has done some positive things this year, but not recently. 0, 6, 1, 2, 8, and 2 over their last few games. They're 24th in the majors in runs scored. They are 22nd in slugging percentage. Not a team that's putting up very scary numbers. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Braves are minus 145. The Marlins are plus 118. We've got a total of 8.5. Atlanta, 12-25 on the road this season. They are 18-17-2 to the under on the road. Miami, 16-23 at home, 21-18 to the under at home. I don't have a huge lean on this game either way. I guess I'll take the Braves here with Bryce Elder on the mound, and fading Sandy Alcantara never feels bad, but overall, not a spot where I'm showing much value. Cruising along through these games, we're looking at the Milwaukee Brewers going on the road to take on the Minnesota Twins. Slam that like button, guys. Choke slam it if you cashed in on the Milwaukee Brewers as our dog of the day yesterday. Very, very good stuff there. Love what the Brewers are doing for us here recently. It's been really, really nice. We hit him as a minus 140 dog and then hit him as a plus 140 dog and then hit him as a plus 118 dog. So loving that. We'll see if we love him here as they hand the ball to Quinn Priester, who's 5-2 on the season, a 3.46 ERA. His last start was against the Cardinals. He was great. He's been great over his last 3 starts, never giving up more than 1 earned run. We see that the Brewers are 4-0 over his last 4 starts, wins against the Phillies, Reds, Braves, and Cardinals. So all very good news there. We'll see what he can do against the Twins. It'll be the first time he faces them this season, but loving life right now. If you're looking to back Quinn Priester, it's a lot of good news. So we'll see what he does. Obviously, the Milwaukee Brewers bullpen has not been good over the course of the year. A 4.30 bullpen ERA doesn't fill me with tons of optimism, but they've been a little bit better recently. The offense is going bonkers. They've scored 9, 17, and 8 runs over their last few games. Crazy stuff. They're up to 11th in the majors in runs scored. They're 17th in on-base percentage, 21st in batting average, though. So there's reason to be concerned. I think this super hot streak is going to end at some point, but will it end here? We'll see, guys. They're going up against the Twins, who are 37-39 on the year. They're having a rough time recently. They'll hand the ball to David Festa, who's 1-1 on the season, a 4.78 ERA. He only lasted 3 2/3 innings against the Reds his last time out. Gave up 2 hits, 4 runs, 2 of them were earned. Just didn't look great, and it's been a little bit weird. He looked great against the Rangers, but terrible against the Athletics. Okay-ish against the White Sox. David Festa, not somebody that's having a great season so far. So we'll see what he does here against the Brewers, who are swinging some very hot bats. The Twins' bullpen has been floundering a bit down the stretch here. They were looking like one of the better bullpens in the majors for a minute, but all the way up to a 4.20 bullpen ERA. That is a huge yikes, and the offense is doing nothing. I mean, obviously coming off a game they scored 0, but over the course of the year, not good. 17th in runs scored, 20th in batting average, 19th in on-base percentage. I would say this is around the 20th level kind of offense. So they're going to need to figure something out here. It might not be easy against Quinn Priester. Now, the Brewers are once again significant underdogs in this game. I'm going to double check, guys. I'm going back and checking myself. Maybe I messed something up. Maybe I wrote something down wrong. Maybe my notes are incorrect. They're not, though. You can find them at plus 128 if you go to the right book. So definitely, plus 118 is super duper available. So we're going to be leaning towards the Brewers here at plus 118. They could be our dog of the day once again. I think they've got an excellent chance to sweep this series. They are hitting the ball great. They're throwing the ball great. You can't ask for a whole lot more than that. Give me the Brewers here at plus 118. Rolling along here, we've got an NL Central showdown between the Cincinnati Reds and the St. Louis Cardinals. The Reds end up taking the 6-5 loss there in Game 2 of this series. They've lost 3 in a row now. They'll try and bounce back by handing the ball to their, ace, I would say, Andrew Abbott. He's 6-1, a 1.84 ERA. His last start did not look ace-like, though. The Reds eventually get the 6-5 win, but 5 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, only one of which was earned by Abbott, not up to his normal level. So we'll see what he can do here against the Cardinals. He faced them back on the 1st of May, only lasted 4 innings. I believe that start was weather shortened. I'm not 100% sure. 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. It was unearned. So we'll see what he does this time against the Cardinals. I'm expecting him to be pretty decent in terms of the bullpen situation for the Reds. It's not looking nearly as good now as it looked earlier in the year, but I do think their bullpen is a little bit better than they've shown recently. The offense, though, that's taken a bit of a hit. They've scored 5, 1, and 5 recently. They were on quite the roll. They're still a decent offensive team. They're 10th in runs scored. They're 12th in slugging percentage. They've got some bats. Elly De La Cruz is doing some really cool stuff. We'll see what he's able to do in this one, though. The heat was definitely getting to him yesterday, so we'll see. I think it's going to be another scorcher in St. Louis for this one. The Cardinals come into this game playing great, back on track. They've won 5 in a row. They'll hand the ball to Miles Mikolas in this game. He's 4-4 this season, a 4.35 ERA. He's been a bit all over the place. Now, his last start was against the Brewers, and he was good. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs in that one. It was a 3-2 loss, but that was not his fault. We'll see what he can do here against the Reds. The last time he faced him, 5 1/3 innings, 3 hits, no runs allowed, but that was back in late April. We'll see if that happens again in this one. The Reds are swinging some much better bats now. The Cardinals bullpen, though, continues to get better. A 4.97 bullpen ERA. Very respectable stuff considering where they were at earlier in the year. The offense back online. 6, 6, 8, and 5 runs over their last few games. They're 8th in the majors in runs scored. They are 4th in the majors in batting average. Not a lot of bad stuff to say here about the Cardinals. Herrera with that hamstring going to be out at least a couple weeks. That's not great, but overall I think the Cardinals probably feel pretty good about themselves. So looking at the numbers, the odds makers have it as a coin flip. Both teams listed at -110 if you can shop around a bit. We've got a total of 9.5 out there. The Reds are 19-20 on the road, 20-18-1 to the under on the road. The Cardinals 23-14 at home, 20-15-2 to the under at home. Guys, I like the Reds in this spot quite a bit. I love Andrew Abbott out there. I know Mikolas has done some good stuff this year, but I don't think this is going to be one of those times. He's due for a Mikolas implosion. The Reds are due to kind of get off the schneid offensively a little bit. Definitely give me the Reds here at -110. This could certainly end up in the pinned comment. Rolling along here, guys, we've got the Seattle Mariners going on the road to take on the Chicago Cubs. The Mariners 38-37 on the year. Not having the season they imagined. They're in 2nd place in the AL West, handing the ball in this game to Logan Gilbert, who's 1-2 this year, a 2.55 ERA. His last time out was his first time off, back from the IL. He was pretty good there against Boston. 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs allowed, 10 strikeouts, but the Mariners did eventually take the 2-0 loss in that game. We'll see what Gilbert does in this one. I'm expecting him to get stronger and stronger as the starts pile up. The bullpen for Seattle hasn't been dominant, but it hasn't been a disaster either, so we're not going to worry too much about that. The offense coming off a game where they scored 7 runs and lost is probably pretty tilted, so we'll see if things change here. A very weird and windy day there yesterday. The Mariners over the course of the year are 14th in runs scored, 19th in batting average, so infinitely better than last year, but still not among the elite in the league. So we'll see what they do against the Cubs, who are fresh off that 10-7 win. They needed that to snap a 2-game losing streak. They'll hand the ball here to Colin Ray, who's 4-2 on the year, a 3.84 ERA. His last start was against the Pirates, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs allowed, and a 3-2 extra inning win. So that's not bad. It was a nice bounce back after struggling pretty aggressively there at the Phillies. Over the course of the year, he's had some really high highs, some really low lows. We'll see what he can do here against the Mariners. I'm not expecting miracles from him, but I think he can keep his team in the game. The Cubs bullpen's been very good, though, a 3.36 bullpen ERA, so whenever Ray has to come out, I don't think the Cubs need to be too worried. The offense coming off a double-digit game, I'm sure feels great. They've had not as many of those here recently. They're still 2nd in runs scored, 8th in batting average, 4th in slugging percentage, so I'm sure they're not worried, but at some point, the offense, does begin to become a bit of a concern. Looking at the numbers here, the Mariners are -115, the Cubs are -105. We've got a total of 11.5, and with the wind the way it is there at Wrigley, that makes sense to me. The Mariners are 18-17 on the road, 18-16-1 to the over on the road. The Cubs are 24-12 at home, 17-16-3 to the under at home. I don't hate taking the Mariners at -115 in this one, given that they're going to put Gilbert on the mound. I think he'll have a pretty good time out there, but I do worry a bit In terms of the total, I'm going to lean a bit towards the over, but I don't love it. That over is mostly based on the win situation. So this game, not really showing a ton of value. Don't really have tons of faith. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Arizona Diamondbacks going on the road to take on the Colorado Rockies. The Diamondbacks came through for us yesterday with that nice 5-3 win in Game 2 of this series. So slam that like button if you enjoyed cashing them as our lock of the day, or if you took a -1.5, cash that one as well. The Diamondbacks will hand the ball in this one to Brandon Pfaadt, who's 8-4 on the season, a 5.38 ERA. His last start, he was actually pretty good against Toronto. 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs against the hot-hitting Blue Jays doesn't look bad, but the Diamondbacks eventually lost that game 5-4. We'll see what he can do here against the Rockies. Obviously, a pretty decent get-right spot for most pitchers. Pitching at the Rockies, though, can get a little bit rocky, if you know what I'm saying. The Diamondbacks bullpen has been terrible, one of the worst in the majors, a 5.37 bullpen ERA, but they didn't blow up yesterday, so we thank them for that. The offense definitely finding its way. 5, 14, and 9 runs over their last 3 games. They are 3rd in the majors in runs scored. They are 2nd in slugging percentage. This is one of the most dangerous offenses in the majors, guys, and that's what keeps this team relevant. So we'll see what they do here against the Rockies, who have now lost 3 in a row and seem maybe poised to go on another lengthy losing streak. They'll hand the ball to Antonio Zenzatella, who's 2-10 on the season, a 6.72 ERA. His last time out, though, he was good. 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. It was unearned in a 10-6 win against the Nationals. That has not been the norm for him this season, though. Not anywhere close. So we'll see what he can do here against the Diamondbacks. Not an easy offense to face, and I kind of think Senzatella is going to have a hard time. The Rockies bullpen, not going to be there to save him, really. A 4.71 bullpen ERA is atrocious. The offense, 3, 8, and 3 runs over their last few. Maybe headed slightly in the right direction, but over the course of the year, they're still bad. 27th in runs scored. They're batting .228 as a team. They are 29th, second to last in the majors in on-base percentage, getting on base at a .291 clip. This is a terrible offense and a terrible team in general. So look at the numbers. I'm not shocked to see the Diamondbacks here as big favorites. They're -205. The Rockies are +170. We've got a total of 12.5. The Diamondbacks are 18-19 on the road, 20, 15-2 to the over on the road. The Rockies are 7-28 at home. That's an MLB worst mark at home. They are 18, 16-1 to the over at home. I mean, I'm not taking over 12.5, although I could understand why somebody would think about it, but I like the Diamondbacks here at -205. I think Pfaadt can be okay in this game. I think mostly that they can just score a billion runs here against Senzatella in that Rockies terrible, terrible bullpen. So the Diamondbacks at -1.5 is in play. The Diamondbacks at -205 as our lock of the day is also certainly something we will be looking at. Rapid fire through these games, we're looking at the Boston Red Sox going on the road to take on the San Francisco Giants. The Red Sox come into this game fresh off a tough 3-2 loss there yesterday. They're going to try to bounce back, handing the ball to Lucas Giolito, who's actually had a good time this year. 3-1, a 4.73 ERA. His last couple of starts have been great, giving up no earned runs over his last 12 innings pitched. Also, the Red Sox are 4-0 over his last 4 starts, but he did get absolutely destroyed there by the Angels, and the Red Sox just came up with a ton of offense to save him. But overall, I think we like how he's throwing the ball at the moment. We'll see what he can do against the Giants. Maybe not the toughest offensive team. We'll cover that in just a second here, though. The situation right now for the Red Sox bullpen is not looking bad at all. 5th best in the majors, a 3.31 bullpen ERA. The real situation facing this team is what direction their offense is going to go in now. Can't feel great to see your ex-player taking you deep. Right now, they're still 6th in the majors in runs scored, but this is not a top 10 offense anymore. At least that's not what it looks like to me. We'll see what they can do against the Giants, who are fresh off that 3-2 win, but they need every win they can get right now. They'll hand the ball to Robbie Ray, who's 8-2 on the season, a 2.68 ERA. His last start, he was good, but not necessarily dominant against the Guardians. 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs allowed in a 3-2 loss. So we'll see if he can kind of get back on track here. He hasn't had a great start in a minute. We'll see what he does against the Red Sox, not a team he's faced this season. So generally expecting good stuff from Robbie Ray, but I'm not 1,000% sold. Now, the bullpen for the Giants obviously been the best in the majors. No question, hands down the best bullpen in the major leagues. So that's a big strength. The offense, though, is starting to really flounder. Now, I know they're trying to improve, and maybe they did. They're 17th in runs scored, still 24th in batting average. They've scored 3, 5, 2, and 2 runs over their last few games. Not looking like an amazing offense to me. So looking at the numbers here, the Red Sox are +130, the Giants are -150. We've got a total of 7.5 out there. Boston 18-20 on the road, 20-18 to the over on the road. The Giants 23-14 at home, 23-14 to the under at home. I mean, you could maybe talk me into the under in this game, but I don't love it. In terms of a side, I'll lean slightly towards the Red Sox at plus 130, but this game, overall, just a big old stay away spot for me. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Cleveland Guardians going on the road to take on the Sacramento Athletics. The Guardians and Athletics are playing right now with the, things are interesting. It's a 4-2 game. Cleveland's got 2 runners on in the top of the ninth, though, and 1 out. So we'll see how things shake out. We need the Athletics to find a way to come away with that win. The Guardians will hand the ball in this game to Slade Ciccone. He's 2-3 on the year, a 4.15 ERA. Had a pretty good start there at San Francisco his last time out. 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs allowed. Kind of seems like that's going to be the norm for him, and that should be good enough to put your team in a position to have a chance to win. Now, the Cleveland bullpen is good, not as dominant as it was last year, but still good. The problem is their lack of offense. They're 25th in the majors in runs scored, 28th in slugging percentage. They rely too heavily on Jose Ramirez to try and carry this offense single-handed. That's a big thing to ask. So we'll see if they can come up with many runs here against the Athletics, who are 32-46 on the year. They had won 2 in a row coming into game 2 of this series. We'll see how things work out in that one. In game 3, though, they'll hand the ball to J.P. Sears, who's 5-6 on the year, a 5.45 ERA. His last start was not very good, I'll be honest. He struggled a bit against the Astros. 3 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 5 earned runs allowed, and a 13-3 loss. So he needs to bounce back in a big way. We'll see if he can do that against the Guardians. Maybe not the scariest offense, but he hasn't faced them yet this year, and he's got the worst bullpen in the majors to back him up. So a lot of problematic things confronting the Athletics right now. The offense not hitting the cover off the ball. They've got some great bats. They run up there to the plate, but they're fading a little bit, and maybe they're just losing hope. So looking at the numbers, the Guardians are minus 135. The Athletics are plus 115. We've got a total of 9.5. Cleveland is 18-22 on the road. They're 20-16-4 to the under on the road. The Athletics are 15-25 at home, 24-15-1 to the over at home. This is a tough one to find value. I'm going to lean just slightly here towards the Guardians at minus 135, but I don't love this spot at all. I don't love the total at all. Don't make me play this game. Next on the docket, we've got the Houston Astros going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Angels. The Astros 44-33 on the year, fresh off a tough Game 2 loss where they got blown out 9-1. They'll hand the ball here in Game 3 to Ryan Gusto, who's 4-3 on the year, a 4.31 ERA. His last couple starts have been very good, shutting down the Athletics and doing a good job of keeping his team attached there against the White Sox in a game they eventually won 10-2. We'll see what he does out there, but I'm expecting very good stuff. Gusto has been very reliable this season. Going against the Angels, he did struggle back in early April, but I think that's pretty far in the rear view at this point. So we'll see what he can do. The Astros bullpen's obviously been very good, 3rd best in the majors. The offense has been problematic. They're 15th in runs scored, 10th in on-base percentage, but coming off a 1-run game, they scored 1, 3, 4, 11, and 13. Seems like the bats may be cooling off. So we'll see what they do against the Angels, who are 37-39 on the year, handing the ball to Kyle Hendricks, who's 5-6 this season, a 4.79 ERA. Now, his last start, he was lights out at the Yankees, 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs allowed. So we'll see what happens. I mean, the Angels are 3-0 over his last 3 starts, and maybe they've got a chance here as well. The Angels' bullpen, though, has been atrocious this season, 4th worst in the majors. Their offense hasn't been anything special either. I know they're coming off a 9-run game, but they're 22nd in runs scored, 29th in batting average, and last in on-base percentage. So looking at the numbers, the Astros are minus 125. The Angels are plus 105. We've got a total of 9 out there. The Astros are 17-19 on the road, 19-14-3 to the under on the road. The Angels are 15-17 at home, 16-14-2 to the under at home. In general, in this game, I think you have to consider under 9 with these two guys in the mound. I think that makes some sense. In terms of a side, though, I'm going to back the Astros at minus 125. I think they bounce back, put themselves in a good position to win this game. Next on the docket, we've got the Kansas City Royals going on the road to take on the San Diego Padres. The Royals took the 5-1 loss there in Game 2. Just not having a great season at this moment, at least. They'll hand the ball to Seth Lugo, who's 5-4 on the year, or 4-5 on the year, a 3.05 ERA. His last start, he dominated the Rangers, and he's been really, really good over his last 3 outings. Unfortunately for him, he gets very little run support, and the Royals are only 1-2 over that span. The Kansas City bullpen's been serviceable, 3.49 bullpen ERA. That's not the problem. The problem is, where is their offense? It looked better there for a second, but they've scored 1, 6, 4, 6, and 6 over their last few games, and that has not been the norm this season for a team that's 29th in runs scored and 24th in on-base percentage. So got to get something figured out there offensively as they take on the Padres, who are coming off that 5-1 win. They'll hand the ball in this game to Randy Vasquez, who's 3-4 on the season, a 3.70 ERA. His last couple of starts were serviceable. He was against the Dodgers in each of them, and the Padres lost each of them, but he did what he could to keep his team in the game. In terms of going up against the Royals here, he hasn't faced them this season, so we'll see what he can do. We'll also see what that Padres bullpen can do. It's been pretty reliable, a 3.31 bullpen ERA. Definitely not the end of the world there. The offense for the Padres has held them back, though, no doubt about it. Fernando Tatis Jr. finally hit his 14th home run of the year. They're still only 19th in runs scored, 18th in on-base percentage, though, and just not a team that I feel like has the kind of firepower that it needs. So looking at the numbers, the odds makers have this is close to a coin flip. The Royals are minus 115. The Padres are minus 105. Got a total of 8.5. The Royals, a 500 team on the road, 21-16-1 to the under on the road. The Padres, 21-13 at home, 19-14-1 to the under at home. I think under 8.5 is very, very live in this game, especially with Lugo and Vasquez on the mound, and the Padres and Royals offenses both not being great. So under 8.5, I think, is the main value on this game. In terms of a side, I will lean just slightly towards the Royals, as I've been burned by Randy Vasquez too many times this year, but I do think under 8.5 is the real value. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Washington Nationals going on the road to take on the LA Dodgers. The Dodgers and Nationals, I believe they just they finished that game up pretty recently. Yeah, the Nationals salt away that 7-3 win. Pretty crazy stuff. They'll hand the ball in this game to Michael Soroka, who's 3-5 on the year, a 5.06 ERA. Didn't have a great time against the Rockies. Didn't have a great time against the Mets. I mean, not a starter that you can really get too excited about. We'll see what he does against the Dodgers, but I'm not expecting that to go great. The bullpen for the Nationals, been one of the worst ones in the majors all year long, and the offense hasn't been amazing. Obviously, they're coming off a nice 7-run game, but over the course of the year, 20th in runs scored, 20th in slugging percentage. I think that's kind of where they belong. So we'll see what they do here against the Dodgers, who are 47-30 on the year, handing the ball in this one to Shohei Ohtani. We'll see what he does. Obviously, not pitching has not been his main jam. He only went out there for a single inning in his first start, so we'll see how long they leave him out there in this one. It also didn't look that great in his first start, so I worry about Ohtani on the mound. Not at the plate, but on the mound. I also worry about the Dodgers bullpen, which is going to need to do a ton of work in this game, and has not been good this year. I also am just maybe just a hair worried about their offense. I mean, they're still first in runs scored and all that kind of good stuff. Like, they're an elite offense, but they're not swinging the hottest bats. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Nationals are plus 240. The Dodgers are minus 290. We've got a total of 9.5. The Nationals are 15-21 on the road, 18-17-1 to the under on the road. The Dodgers are 29-13 at home, 27-14-1 to the over at home. I actually think this is a pretty decent spot to back the Nationals as massive, massive underdogs. Ohtani's only going to pitch like 1 or 2 innings, so don't get caught up on those Ohtani strikeout props, any of that crazy stuff that happened in his first start, guys. I think this is going to be a weird game for the Dodgers. They're going to use a lot of bullpen guys, and I don't really feel that great about their bullpen. So give me the Nationals here at plus 240 as a small lean. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at Sunday night baseball between the New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, the Mets got the 11-4 win, crushing our hopes and dreams there in Game 2 of this series. We'll see what happens handing the ball in this game to David Peterson. He's 5-2 on the season, a 2.60 ERA. He's fresh off a decent start at the Athletics, 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, and a 5-4 loss. That's not a bad way, that's not a bad start after going a complete game against the Nationals. So we'll see what he does here against the Phillies. Obviously, the Mets need him to be really, really good, just generally speaking. The last time he faced the Phillies, it was a bit rough back in late April, so he's going to need to buck that trend a little bit. The bullpen for the Mets has been good this year. Top, 6 or 8 most of the season, a 3.32 bullpen ERA. I don't think that's reason for alarm. The offense, 11 runs in the last game is great, but 2-1-0-4-0 over the few games before that is a huge reason for concern. They're 18th in batting average. They're 12th in runs scored. This team's not as dominant at the plate as they were imagined to be. So we'll see what they do here against the Phillies, who are 46-31 on the year. That loss snapped a 3-game winning streak. They'll hand the ball in this one to Jesus Luzardo, a guy who I cannot figure out. He's 6-3 on the year, a 4.41 ERA. His last start was against the Marlins. He was terrible. Start before that, he was lights out against the Cubs. Start before that, he got obliterated by the Toronto Blue Jays. Just kind of hard to figure out what you're going to get from him on a night-to-night basis. So we'll see what he can do here against the Mets. Not a team that he's faced this season. He could go out there and be great. He could go out there and be terrible. I'm not really sure how we're supposed to know. Now, the bullpen for the Phillies, I do know. It's bad, guys. A 4.64 bullpen ERA is atrocious. The offense has been really good at times, but not quite enough to convincingly carry this terrible pitching staff. So we'll see what happens in this game, guys. Looking at the numbers for this game, the Mets are minus 105, the Phillies are minus 115. We've got totals out there of 9 or 9.5. The Mets are 18-21 on the road, 23-15-1 to the under on the road. The Phillies 25-13 at home, 19-16-3 to the over at home. This is a crazy spot, guys. I don't have much of a lean on this game, if I'm being honest. I guess giving the Mets at minus 205 under the impression that Luzardo is going to implode and the Phillies bullpen will continue to be terrible, but I don't think I can put this game anywhere near the pinned comment. Now, guys, we're going to hop over and look at Game 7 here of the NBA Finals. We've got the Indiana Pacers playing in Oklahoma City Thunder. We are going to see what happens. This one is for all the marbles, guys. The Pacers forced this Game 7 by winning Game 6, 108-91 in a game that was not nearly as close as that final score would indicate. The Pacers just came out and dominated that game, really pulling away there in the second quarter, building their lead early in the third. Huge game there, just kind of from a lot of different Pacers, if I'm being honest. I mean, Obi Toppin led the team with 20 points, but Halliburton played great and only had to play 23 minutes in the game. So a big deal there. Apparently that calf issue, not as big of an issue as we would have thought. We'll see how it goes in this one. But big games from Siakam. Neesmith was good. Miles Turner continues to struggle shooting the ball, though. Nembhard was great. A very good game out there from TJ McConnell. Like, a lot of guys contributing there for the Pacers. And they come into this game healthy, which is obviously a huge deal. The Thunder, on the other hand, Chet Holmgren, another no-show game from him. Jalen Williams didn't shoot the ball particularly well, 0-4 from 3, and was somehow a minus 40 in his time out there. SGA only had 21 points, 7 of 8 from the free throw line, but wasn't getting there the way he wants to get there. Isaiah Joe had 11 points off the bench, but he was really the only bench guy to step up in a huge way. It was pretty brutal out there, guys. I'm going to be honest. Not a great look there from the Thunder. So they're probably a little bit rattled coming into this game. And the odds makers, though, are not worried about that. The Thunder are 7.5-point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 215, drastically down from what we've seen throughout the series. And betting unders in Game 7s is definitely a thing. So something to take into consideration in this one. The Pacers are 14-8 against the spread in the playoffs. They're 10-6 to the over in the playoffs. The Thunder, 10-11 against the spread in the playoffs so far. So that's not great. Looking at the, some other things, another thing we want to definitely think about in this game, in Scott Foster games, which Scott Foster, I'm sure he'll make this NBA Finals Game 7 all about himself somehow. He is, home teams, when he is officiating, are 21-32-1 against the spread this season. So with that as a variable, we're definitely taking into account. I'm going to be leaning towards the Pacers getting those 7.5 points. I think we'll see a close, hard-fought game here. It depends a lot on how it's going to be officiated, though. In terms of that total of 215, I will lean slightly towards the under just because it's a Game 7, but I don't love that play a ton. I've got 2 player props that I think are very live in this game. First up, I'll take Jalen Williams under 22.5 points. This dude had problems in basically every high-pressure spot in his career. And while he's bouncing back, a little bit, played better in some big spots here in the playoffs, he's coming off a 16-point game in Game 6. He didn't shoot the ball that well, I don't think, especially not from distance. I just don't see him having an amazing game here in Game 7. So taking him to score under 22.5 points seems great. And I also like TJ McConnell over 9.5 points. He's been absolutely on fire, putting up great numbers across the board. I expect him to be used a lot in this one because the Pacers don't really know how many minutes they can expect from Halliburton on that messed up calf. Also, TJ McConnell is blowout proof in this one. If the Thunder somehow blow out the Pacers, McConnell's going to soak up all those garbage time minutes. They're not going to put, Halliburton out there on a bad calf. So definitely think it's a great spot to back TJ McConnell's over on points one last time. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. Thanks for watching. You can click the link in the description to check out StumpTheSpread.com, get on that free email list, check out all the other good stuff we offer over there at Stump the Spread. And guys, we'll be right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.